You know, earlier this week, I was trying to find a device on my network that I had just plugged in, and I was trying to ping it, but I couldn't find it. I was like, where is this thing? And come to find out, ICMP was turned off on this device, so it wouldn't respond to my regular pings. Well, guess what? NMAP can help solve that problem, because NMAP can help us to not only scan with pings via ICMP, but we can also do other types of pings like a TCP or UDP ping. So let's take a look at what we can do with NMAP. So let's start off by talking about how NMAP decides what to scan. For instance, if I run the command nmap and I say, I don't know, 10.2.1.0/24, that's going to scan that whole subnet. Now, how does it actually decide what host to scan? Well, what it does is it goes out and it does an ICMP ping across the entirety of the subnet. And whatever is alive, it puts its IPs on this list, and then it goes through and it scans the hosts on that list. So if a device doesn't respond to ICMP, it's not going to make it on that list. Well, that can be a problem. So sometimes what we want to do is use the disable ping option, and that is the nmap with the -P lowercase n. That's it right there. And I remember this by ping no, so no pings. And what this does is nmap then goes again through the whole subnet, but this time it's not going to use ICMP. It's going to scan every IP address on that subnet, so you won't miss anything. Now, what if I just wanted to do some pings? Different types of pings. Like I want to do a ping scan, but I know there's some devices not responding to ICMP. Well, we can do that too. With nmap, we have a couple options. First of all, if we only want to do a standard ICMP ping, like a ping sweep across our subnet, we use the -SN option, and that is our ICMP pings. But again, remember we talked about ICMP being turned off on some hosts or filtered out? Well, no worries. We've got these options here. We've got -PS, that's to send a TCP SYN ping, so it sends a TCP SYN packet to the target, and if it responds a certain way, it knows it's alive. Or it can send an ACK ping, or a UDP ping. So we have these three options, but key, this is very key. By default, when NMAP does this, it does it on port 80. Well, guess what? I mean, in reality, we know every host on my network isn't running a web server, right? And on yours as well, probably. So that might not work out well. But if you're on a Microsoft network, well, guess what? 445. Go for that, because SMB is used across the Microsoft networks. So I would shoot for 445. Or if I'm on a Linux network or I'm looking for a network device, I'd probably look for port 22 because that's for SSH, and a lot of Linux hosts and network devices are running SSH. So just remember, if you're trying to run one of these non-ICMP pings, it defaults to port 80, so you may want to change that with, that's right, the -P. So maybe P-445 for our Microsoft or 22 for Linux and network devices, but maybe you do want to use 80, so hey, it's up to you. Either way, these are some different ways to do ping scans across networks, especially when ICMP is not running or disabled or filtered out on your targets. I hope this has been informative for you, and I'd like to thank you for viewing.